I used to think that grief was just sad. Like, you cry, you eat ice cream, you avoid the person's favorite songs for a few months, and then one day you wake up and you're mostly fine again. But that's not how it went when my brother, Danny, died. Danny wasn't just my older brother, he was my best friend, my partner in crime, and the only person who could make me laugh so hard I'd snort orange soda through my nose. He was 26, healthy, obnoxiously alive, and then one rainy night on the highway, just gone. No warning. No goodbye. For weeks after the funeral, I wandered through life like a zombie in sweatpants. People said all the usual garbage. He's in a better place. He wouldn't want you to be sad. Time heals all wounds. I wanted to scream at them, if time healed all wounds, hospitals would just hand out clocks. The worst part, though, was the silence. Danny had been the kind of guy who texted constantly. Stupid memes, random what-if questions, blurry photos of his cat, Sheila. And suddenly, my phone was quiet. Too quiet. Until it wasn't. It happened 3 weeks after the funeral. I was curled up on my couch, eating cereal out of the box and watching some garbage reality show, when my phone buzzed. I didn't think anything of it until I saw the name. Danny. At first, my brain tried to rationalize it. Maybe mom had gotten his number reassigned to her new phone? Or maybe some scammer had somehow spoofed his contact. Then I opened the message. Hey, loser. Why are you watching that trash? My heart stopped. Not metaphorically. Like, full on, skipped a beat, hands turning cold kind of stopped. Because nobody, but Danny knew that loser was his special nickname for me. And there was no way some random hacker also knew that I had terrible taste in reality TV. I stared at the screen for a full minute, debating if I was losing my mind. Then, without thinking, I typed back. Who is this? The reply came almost instantly. Oh wow. Dead 3 weeks and you've already forgotten me? Harsh. I dropped my phone. Like, literally. It hit the floor with a thunk, and Sheila, my cat, not to be confused with Danny's Sheila, yes, he named his cat after mine as a joke, leapt off the couch in protest. My hands were shaking when I picked it up again. Danny? I typed, feeling ridiculous even as I did it. The dots appeared. Stopped. Appeared again. Who else? Unless you've got another dead brother hanging around. I froze. Because this wasn't just some random text. This was him. The exact cadence. The exact snark. The exact way Danny used to tease me when I was being dense. And here's the thing, I wanted to believe it. I wanted it so badly it hurt. Over the next few days, the messages kept coming. Sometimes they were casual. Sheila just knocked over the remote. Again. Your Sheila is such a copycat. Other times they were weirdly insightful. Don't take that extra shift. You'll burn out. And the boss doesn't notice anyway. Or eerily specific. You're out of coffee. Check the back of the cabinet. He was right. There was an unopened bag I'd completely forgotten about. I didn't tell anyone at first. Not my mom, who was still crying herself to sleep every night. Not my best friend, Jess, who'd been trying to drag me out to bars so I could heal with tequila. Because how do you explain that your dead brother is texting you? You don't. Not if you don't want to be carted off by men in white coats. But the thing is, it helped. It sounds insane, but having Danny's voice, even just in text form, made the crushing weight of grief a little lighter. I started smiling again. Laughing, even. I'd be sitting at work, half asleep at my desk, and my phone would buzz. Yo. Remember when you spilled iced coffee all over your boss and blamed it on a ghost? Classic. Or when I'd forget to eat lunch. Stop starving yourself, loser. Grab a sandwich. And no, chips don't count as a meal. It was like he was still looking out for me, still annoying me, still there. Then, about a week into this strange new normal, the messages started to change. At first, it was subtle. Don't take the subway tomorrow. I laughed it off, figuring it was just Danny being Danny. Except the next morning, there was a massive electrical fire on the exact train I usually took. Then came, avoid 5th and Main tonight. And that night, there was a car crash. 2 dead. By the 3rd warning, I wasn't laughing anymore. Don't open the front door. Not yet. My heart pounded as I sat frozen in my apartment, staring at the door. 30 seconds later, someone jiggled the handle. Hard. And then silence. When I finally got the courage to peek through the peephole, there was nobody there. That's when I told Jess. We were at our favorite diner, me stirring a milkshake I wasn't drinking, when I finally blurted it out. My dead brother is texting me. Jess blinked. Like, metaphorically? No, I said. Like literally. From his phone. And it's him, Jess. It's not a scammer or AI or some creepy app. It's Danny. He knows things only he could know. She stared at me for a long moment, then sighed. Babe, grief does weird things to your brain. You probably just want to believe it's him, so your mind is. Before she could finish, my phone buzzed. I flipped it over. Tell Jess she still owes me $50 from that poker night. My blood went cold. Because Jess's eyes went wide. Oh my God, she whispered. I do owe him $50. After that, Jess stopped trying to convince me I was crazy. Instead, she started calling my ghost brother, text Danny, like he was some kind of supernatural pen pal. For a while, it was almost fun. Creepy, sure. But fun. Until the messages turned dark. The first one came at 3 a.m. Don't go to work tomorrow. Trust me. I woke up in a sweat, staring at the glow of my phone. Why? I typed back. Just don't. Stay home. Please. Something in the please made my stomach knot. Danny never begged. Not when he was alive, not now. So I called in sick. I spent the whole day pacing my tiny apartment, checking the news, scrolling social media. And then, around 2 p.m., I saw it. A man had walked into my office building and opened fire. 5 people were dead. Including my boss. I sat on the floor, shaking so hard I could barely hold my phone. Thank you, I typed, tears blurring my vision. Always, came the reply. From that day on, I didn't question him. If Danny said don't take the subway, I didn't. If he told me to leave a party early, I left. If he warned me not to talk to someone, I blocked them. Because whatever this was, ghost, glitch, afterlife hotline, it was saving my life. But then the tone of the messages shifted again. The first truly terrifying one came on a Thursday night. I was brushing my teeth, humming some dumb pop song, when my phone buzzed. You need to leave the apartment. Now. I froze, toothbrush in hand. Why? I typed. No reply. Danny? Still nothing. Then, 5 minutes later. A run. And before I could even process the word, the fire alarm went off. The next few minutes were a blur, grabbing my cat, my phone, my keys, and bolting down the stairs barefoot while smoke filled the hallways. The building burned for hours. I watched from across the street, shivering, clutching Sheila to my chest, as flames devoured the life I'd barely been holding together. And through it all, my phone stayed silent. It took him 2 days to text again. Oh sorry. That was it. I wanted to scream at him, to demand answers, to beg him not to disappear like that ever again. But all I typed was, "It's okay. You saved me." Again. And then, because I couldn't stop myself. "Danny, what's happening? How are you even doing this?" His reply came hours later. "It's complicated. But I'm not here for long. And there's something you need to know." That was the night everything changed. I stared at the message for a long time, the words blurring on the screen. It's complicated. But I'm not here for long. And there's something you need to know. Not here for long. The thought made my chest tighten in a way I didn't expect. Because somehow, over the last month, these texts had become my lifeline. I wasn't ready to lose him all over again. I typed, fingers trembling. What do you mean, not here for long? This time, the reply took longer than usual. I don't have much time. Think of it like, bad reception. The connection's fading. My eyes filled with tears. Then tell me now. Whatever it is. Just tell me. A pause. Then? Someone killed me, M. I froze. For a second, I thought I'd misread it. I blinked, reread the text, and the words were still there. The what? It wasn't an accident. That night, on the highway, I didn't fall asleep at the wheel. Someone ran me off the road. My mouth went dry. No. No, they said it was a single-car accident. You were speeding. Because someone was following me. I didn't see the plate. But I know they were there. And now they're coming for you. I dropped the phone onto the couch like it was burning me. This wasn't possible. Except for the way the messages had been warning me. Except for the way Danny somehow knew about things before they happened. Except for the gnawing sense I'd had for weeks that something was off about that night. I picked the phone back up, my fingers slick with sweat. Danny, you're scaring me. Good. You should be scared. Because they think you know something. I don't know anything. You do. You just don't realize it yet. But listen to me, you have to be careful. Watch everyone. Don't trust anyone. That night, I didn't sleep. Every creak of the apartment building, every distant car horn, every muffled footstep in the hallway had me clutching my phone like it was a lifeline. I texted Danny half a dozen times. No reply. The next morning, Jess came over with coffee and bagels. You look like hell, she said, plopping onto my couch and handing me a cup. Thanks, I muttered, not even bothering to deny it. She studied me, sipping her latte. Okay, what's going on? And don't say nothing, because you look like you've seen a ghost. Pun intended. I hesitated, then handed her my phone. She scrolled through the texts, her expression shifting from confusion to disbelief to something close to fear. Jesus, she breathed. Do you think it's true? That someone killed him? I don't know, I whispered. But if it is, that means someone out there wanted him dead. And now they might want you dead too, she finished grimly. Jess, being Jess, immediately switched into full detective mode. Okay, she said, setting her coffee down and pulling out her laptop. If someone ran him off the road, there has to be something. Security footage, dash cams, witnesses. Something. I didn't want to hope. But as we dug into every article, every news report, every blurry cell phone video from that night, a picture started to form. And it didn't look good. For one thing, the toxicology report. They'd said Danny had alcohol in his system. Not much, not enough to make him drunk, just enough to suggest maybe he'd had a beer with dinner. But Danny hated beer. Like, wouldn't touch it, hated it. His drink of choice was whiskey, neat. Always had been. Then there were the skid marks on the road. According to the police report, there weren't any. But that didn't make sense. Danny was a careful driver. If he'd seen a car coming at him, he would have braked. Hard. Jess frowned at the screen. It's like they wanted this to look like a simple accident. My stomach turned. Who would even want to hurt him? He wasn't involved in anything shady. Was he? Jess asked carefully. I glared at her. No. He was a software engineer, Jess. He made stupid apps that helped people find coupons. That's it. Jess chewed her lip. Then maybe he found something he wasn't supposed to. That thought lodged itself in my brain like a splinter. What if Danny had stumbled across something, in his job, or on the internet, or somewhere, and someone killed him for it? The idea was insane. But so was getting texts from a dead person. That night, my phone buzzed again. Stop digging. You're making them nervous. My blood ran cold. Who's them? I typed, fingers shaking. You'll know soon enough. But you need to be careful. Promise me. I promise, Elite. Because of course I wasn't going to stop. The next few days blurred together. Every time I left my apartment, I felt eyes on me. Every time a strange car idled near my building, I convinced myself it was them. Every time my phone buzzed, my heart stopped until I saw it was just spam or Jess or a random work notification. Then, 3 nights later, I woke up to a sound. A faint click. Like someone gently turning my front door handle. I froze, every muscle in my body screaming to move but refusing to obey. And then, softly, almost apologetically, my phone buzzed. Don't make a sound. Call 911. I don't remember dialing. I don't remember whispering my address to the dispatcher. I just remember sitting in the dark, clutching Sheila to my chest, while footsteps moved slowly, deliberately, down the hall outside my door. By the time the cops showed up, the footsteps were gone. And there was nothing. No forced entry. No sign of anyone. The officer, a tired-looking man in his 50s, gave me the kind of look reserved for hysterical women and teenagers high on horror movies. Probably just some drunk who got the wrong door, he said. But when Jess came over the next morning, she found something the cops missed. A tiny black device, no bigger than a button, stuck under my living room window. A tracker. That was the first time I felt it, not just fear, but full-blown paranoia. Danny had been right. Someone was watching me. And they weren't just watching. They were getting closer. Why didn't you tell me? I typed, anger and fear tangled together. His reply was instant. I didn't want to scare you. And I thought, maybe if you stayed quiet, they'd leave you alone. Well, newsflash, I snapped. They didn't. I know. And I'm sorry. But you need to listen to me now. There's a bag, my old gym bag. Back of my closet at Mom's house. Inside, there's a flash drive. Take it. And don't tell anyone you have it. What's on it? A proof. The next morning, Jess and I drove to my mom's house. She was in the kitchen, making tea, looking 10 years older than she had a month ago. Sweetheart, she said, pulling me into a hug. What are you doing here? Is everything okay? Yeah, Elite. Just needed to grab something from Danny's room. Her face softened. Of course. Take your time. His room was exactly how he'd left it. Messy, cluttered, smelling faintly of his cologne. It felt wrong, digging through his stuff, but I pushed the feeling aside and found the old duffel bag shoved in the back of the closet. Inside, under a pile of gym clothes that smelled like death, was a small black flash drive. I slipped it into my pocket and forced myself to smile when Mom asked if I wanted to stay for lunch. Back at my apartment, Jess and I sat side by side on my couch, laptop open, flash drive plugged in. At first, it was just boring spreadsheets. Rows and rows of numbers, code snippets, client data. And then? Videos. The first one was grainy security footage. A parking garage. 2 men in suits meeting a third man in a hoodie. A briefcase changing hands. The second video was worse. A man, tied to a chair, bloodied, begging for his life while someone off camera asked questions in a calm, almost bored voice. Jess gagged. Jesus Christ. The third video was Danny. Not a live Danny, but dashcam footage from his car. It showed headlights in his rearview mirror, closer and closer, until the camera spun wildly and everything went black. I slammed the laptop shut, shaking. What the hell is this? I whispered. Jess's face was pale. I think your brother stumbled onto something huge. And whoever these people are? They killed him for it. That night, I texted Danny. I saw the drive. Good. Now listen carefully. Someone will come for it. When they do, you need to run. Don't try to fight. Don't try to reason. Just run. I didn't want to believe him. I wanted to think maybe we were overreacting, that maybe this was just some big misunderstanding. But deep down, I knew better. And 2 nights later, when my front door exploded inward at 2 a.m., I didn't hesitate. I grabbed the flash drive, my keys, Sheila, and I ran. I don't remember much of that night. Just the sound of footsteps pounding behind me, the roar of my own heartbeat in my ears, the blinding panic that made the world tilt sideways. I ended up at Jess's place, shaking so hard I couldn't speak. She locked every door, pulled the curtains shut, and pressed a baseball bat into my hands. And for the first time since this nightmare started, I saw fear in her eyes too. Danny texted, you need to disappear. For a while. Somewhere they can't find you. There's a cabin, the one we used to go to with Dad. Go there. Now. I can't just disappear, I typed, hands trembling. You can. And you will. If you want to live. That was when it hit me. This wasn't just about answers anymore. This was about survival. And if I wanted to make it out alive, I was going to have to do exactly what my dead brother told me. The road to the cabin was dark, winding, and completely deserted. Sheila whimpered in her carrier on the passenger seat, and I couldn't blame her. Every rustle of leaves, every shadow stretching across the headlights, felt like it was watching. I hadn't told Jess where I was going. Not because I didn't trust her, but because Danny had been very clear, no one could know. By the time I pulled into the gravel driveway, my hands ached from gripping the steering wheel. The cabin looked exactly like it had when we were kids. Same chipped paint. Same crooked porch steps. Same air of quiet isolation that used to feel peaceful but now just made my skin crawl. Inside, I locked every door, checked every window, then double-checked. The silence pressed in around me. No city noise. No cars. No neighbors. Just the sound of my own breathing and Sheila's nervous pacing. Finally, my phone buzzed. You made it? Yeah, I typed back. I think so. What now? A pause. A wait. They'll come. But not yet. You have time. Check the drive again. There's something you missed. I dug out the flash drive and plugged it into my laptop. The videos were the same, the parking garage, the interrogation, the dashcam. But there was a folder I hadn't opened before. Buried under layers of innocuous-looking spreadsheets. Inside were dozens of text files. I opened the first one and froze. It was a list. Names. Addresses. Dates. Some were crossed out. Others had notes beside them, words like secured, pending, eliminated. One name jumped out at me, Danny Collins. Next to it, a single word, completed. And below it, Emily Collins. Pending. My stomach lurched. Danny, I typed with shaking hands, I saw the list. My name is on it. What does that mean? His reply came fast. It means you're a loose end. They don't want loose ends. I didn't sleep that night. Every creak of the cabin made me jump. Every hoot of an owl sent my pulse spiking. By dawn, I was pacing like a caged animal, clutching my phone, waiting for Danny to text. When the message finally came, it was short. They're coming. You need to run. Now. I barely had time to grab the flash drive, my keys, and Sheila before I heard the crunch of tires on gravel. A black SUV rolled up the driveway, its headlights cutting through the early morning mist. I bolted out the back door, heart hammering, feet pounding through the trees. Branches clawed at my arms and face. Sheila yelled in her carrier, the sound muffled but panicked. Behind me, men's voices shouted. The crack of twigs. Footsteps getting closer. Keep going, Danny texted. There's a clearing ahead. Don't stop. I didn't question how he knew. I just ran. By the time I broke into the clearing, my lungs were on fire. A rusted-out truck sat abandoned near the edge, its keys dangling from the ignition like some kind of miracle. Take it, Danny said. I threw Sheila in the passenger seat, gunned the engine, and tore out of there, gravel spraying like gunfire behind me. I drove for hours. No GPS. No phone calls. Just back roads and blind turns and the constant terror of headlights appearing in my rearview mirror. By the time I stopped, I was in a town so small it didn't even have a gas station, just a single diner and a boarded-up post office. I parked behind the diner, turned off the engine, and finally let myself collapse. When I woke up, my phone was buzzing. "You need to end this, Danny wrote. "Find the man in the videos. His name is Marcus Kane. He runs everything. If you can get to him, you can stop this." "Well, how?" I typed, hands trembling. "He trusts outsiders. Go in as someone else. Use the drive. Tell him you want to make a deal." It sounded insane. But sitting there in that truck, exhausted and terrified, I realized I didn't have another option. Running wasn't working. Hiding wasn't working. If I wanted this to end, I had to go straight at the monster in the dark. It took 3 days to track him down. Marcus Kane. CEO of a security consulting firm that was definitely a front for something much darker. The videos on the drive made that obvious. I used a fake name, a burner phone, and just enough technical jargon to make myself sound like someone who could be useful. When I got a call inviting me to meet him, I almost threw up. The meeting was in a gleaming glass office tower downtown. I wore a wig, sunglasses, and the most boring outfit I could put together. Inside, the receptionist smiled politely and ushered me upstairs. The elevator doors opened onto a space so pristine it felt alien. White walls. Polished floors. Expensive art that screamed money and power. And then Marcus Kane himself. Tall. Immaculate suit. A smile that didn't reach his eyes. "So," he said, motioning for me to sit. "You have something that belongs to me." I slid the flash drive across the table, forcing my hands to stay steady. "I want protection," I said, keeping my voice even. "In exchange, you get your files back." He studied me for a long moment. Then, slowly, he smiled. "You're smarter than your brother," he said. "It's a shame what happened to him. He was a liability. But you," his smile widened, shark-like. "You could be an asset." For a moment, I thought maybe, I could pull it off. Then my phone buzzed in my pocket. One word from Danny. A run. I didn't think. I bolted. Everything after that was chaos. Shouts. Footsteps pounding behind me. The slam of doors. I barely made it to the stairwell before someone grabbed my arm. I twisted, kicked, and somehow broke free, sprinting down flight after flight until I burst out into the street. A car screeched to a stop inches from me, the driver laying on the horn as I darted across the road, lungs burning, adrenaline screaming through my veins. I didn't stop running until I was blocks away, crouched in an alley, gasping for breath. My phone buzzed again. "It's over," Danny wrote. "The files were enough. They'll leave you alone now." "How do you know?" I typed, tears blurring my vision. "Because I made sure of it. It's done, You're safe." For the first time in weeks, I let myself cry. Ugly, shaking sobs that left me gasping and empty. When I finally looked at my phone again, there was one last message waiting. "It's time for me to go. I can't stay here anymore." "No," I typed desperately. "Please. Don't leave me again." "I can't." "You can. You're stronger than you think. Live your life, Be happy. For me." And then, a goodbye. The messages stopped after that. I stared at my phone for hours, willing another text to come through. It never did. It's been 3 months now. I moved. Got a new job. Jess and I talk every day, but we never talk about what happened. Sometimes, late at night, I scroll through the old messages. And sometimes, just sometimes, I like to think Danny is still out there somewhere, watching, making sure I'm okay. Because if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Dead doesn't always mean gone.